Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he, she's, theys, and them, welcome back to Mise Passion, YouTube's premier channel about all things women's football. And in light of EA recently predicting that the USA women's national team will win their 5th World Cup, I am here to predict to you what I think, in my own opinion, are the best kits that are going to be on display from the 32 teams that are going to be at the Women's World Cup in a few days' time, 19 days at the time of recording. And today's video will focus mainly on the home kits. The next video will focus on the away kits and a little sprinkle of the third kits as well from the countries with those. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. And we'll kick things off with Group A, starting off with New Zealand, aka the Football Ferns, whose home kit is very nice and impressive to say the very least. It's exactly what you'd expect from a New Zealand kit, black and obviously sporting the very famous fern all over the design of the shirt. And according to Nike, they say that the shirt pays homage to its landscapes through a new look for a much-loved pattern that captures a long-time symbol of New Zealand's national identity, the silver fern. Spray paint techniques were used to capture the all-over black and silver design, as we can see there with the little hints of silver there in the pattern of the overall shirt. And to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd have to give this shirt a very strong 7.5, which is a very good start to the video if I do say so myself. Up next, we have the Grasshoppers of Norway, whose bold color blocking combinations, which allow for a prominent mix and match of the national flag, according to Nike, gives us this good, okay-ish home kit, a little bit too simplistic, almost dull if you think about it. To an extent, I do think it gives off a very strong vibe of Dream League soccer kits, and I think there could have been a lot more effort put in by Nike, but that's neither here nor there. To me personally, I'll give this one a 4.5. I do think Nike could have done a lot more than just being lazy and just putting the national flag colors of Norway there, because we have seen in the past that they do very good when it comes to kits for teams like Norway. Throwback to that beautiful ice kit that they had just a few years ago. So ultimately 4.5 could have been better, still okay, but you know, they could have done more. Up next in Group A, we have the Philippines, whose entire kit collection for the World Cup, which might I add is their first one ever, is purely rooted in national pride. And their home kit in particular takes inspiration from the phrase Sipag at Tiaga. I really hope I did not butcher that. If I did, I do sincerely apologize to anyone from the Philippines or anyone of Filipino descent who has heard me butcher this phrase. But anyway, the official translation is that it signifies hard work and perseverance, which is exemplary of the efforts made by the Philippines national women's team to get to this stage of representing their country at the World Cup. And I think that this is perfectly exemplified in this home shirt here, which takes inspiration from the national flag. And I know it may sound a bit hypocritical based on what I just said about the Norway home shirt, but essentially, given that this is the debut of the Philippines on such a huge stage, it's really perfect, and it is a very good shirt made by Adidas in my opinion. And for that, I will give it a strong 6.5 out of 10. And finishing off Group A, we have the Switzerland home shirt, which I think is a very beautiful and well done and inspired shirt design by Puma, who have taken inspiration from the Swiss Alps, as we can see with the mountain that's slightly there just in the gradient shape that we see on the front of the home shirt, especially with the white detailing as well, which I would like to think it does represent snow falling, because the Swiss Alps, it's known for its snow and it's just its natural beauty as well. And the shirt itself, it's also just beautiful. I think it's a very well done shirt by Puma, and I can't help but just give it a very good 8 out of 10. Well done to Puma on this shirt. And now to Group B, we have the Matildas, aka one half of the host nation's Australia, whose home shirt celebrates the diverse community and country and also invites all Australians to join in and embrace this once-in-a-lifetime moment and iconic team. This shirt was created by hand acrylic pour and marbling patterns, which illustrate the diverse country and culture in addition to the transformation and dedication of the national team over time. Now, when we look at the Matildas here, they're a very strong team, and I have a very bold prediction to say that they're going to make it to, at the very least, the semi-finals of this tournament, not only because they have Sam Kerr, but they have a very strong squad which can actually go all the way and even challenge to go to the finals if push came to shove. Now, to the home shirt, which is what we're here to talk about, I think this is a very good home shirt. It exemplifies Australia and its national identity. I think the inspiration behind it is very unique and very bold, and you can see that a lot of effort was taken by Nike to really study the natural environment of Australia and the identity that Australians have on a national level as well as on a sporting level. And I think when the Matildas eventually take to the field in this shirt, they'll feel nothing but pride, not only within themselves but from their home support as well. 9 out of 10 from me for this shirt. Next, we have the girls in green from the Republic of Ireland, who, as you'll come to notice with the theme of this particular video, have come out with a shirt that is staunchly based within national pride. As you can see, the base color of the shirt is emerald green, which mimics the shamrock, which is also the logo of their national team now, thanks to the recent changes made, as well as the national colors which have been incorporated on the sleeve cuffs as well as the neckline, and with a nice little detail from Castore with the word Éire being printed on the back of the neck, which translates to Ireland in Gaelic. Now that is a nice little touch and a little extra tinge of pride there from Castore. I think this is a very nice shirt. It exemplifies everything that Ireland is. It shows the national colors of the flag on it, and I think this is just a beautiful shirt to have, not only in your wardrobe but also just to support the national team if you're from Ireland, or if you do just support Ireland in general. 8 out of 10 from me for this one. Next, we have the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and this opinion of mine based on this shirt is going to be a bit controversial. Now, according to Nike, this shirt is inspired by the distinct local prints and patterns of Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria. You've got the bespoke pattern on the cuff and sock ribbing inspired by traditional Nigerian artwork and textiles. Now, if you do a quick Google search of these artworks and textiles, you see that Nike has done a good job of capturing these particular details on the shirt. However, based on previous efforts we have seen from the swoosh when it comes to the Nigerian home kits, this is a bit of a letdown, because we have the very infamous zigzag kit that we got in 2018, and then we also got the very beautiful traditional kit, as I would like to call it, that we got from 2019 to around 2020. And then there was also the previous effort, which wasn't as good, but it was very creative and out there in my opinion. And then to now come to what's essentially just a simple green kit with just a few details, I think it's a step down from what Nike's usually come up with, and for that I'm going to be having to give this kit a 5 out of 10. Moving on to the final home kit of Group B, we have the Canadian Maples, who for the first time ever since their partnership with Nike have an actually nice and bespoke kit from the swoosh, as the red and black kit features a bold evolution of the iconic maple leaf but within a geometric shape. As we can see here, it looks very three-dimensional, very futuristic look for the home kit here for Canada. I think this is a very good effort by Nike, and it is a very sharp turn from the usual teamwear kits that Canada gets, which the only distinctive factor is the badge that actually is the Canada national team. And I think that's a very good effort by Nike. Could be better, but it's something. So for me, it's a 5.5 out of 10 for the Canadian home kit. And here we have Group C's shirts here, and we're going to start off with La Roja, aka Spain's national home kit for the World Cup. And this is, quite frankly, a timeless shirt. It's very hard to mess up a Spain shirt in my opinion. Admittedly, Adidas has done that a few times, looking at you 2018 World Cup kit. But apart from that, this is a very well done effort from Adidas. If anyone, which I mean I'm sure everyone who's going to be watching this video, watched the World Cup that was recently held in Qatar, you'd have seen this shirt in action. Obviously the team didn't do so well, but I think the shirt performs just as well. And according to Adidas, it is an issue of national pride, being a timeless statement dominated by the famous deep red and with the references of the national flag on the collar, shirt bindings. As you can see, Adidas has been doing a very good job, Nike as well, when it comes to putting very small minute details that help to accentuate the national pride and the national flags of the countries that they are currently sponsoring. And credit needs to be given to those two brands for the way they've gone about it, as well as other brands, as we will see in this video and the next one, how well they've come to incorporate these national pride details and elements that help to just make the shirt that bit more personal for not only the players but also the people from their respective nation who will be supporting their team at the World Cup, especially coming up in Australia and New Zealand. But overall, this shirt is a very good shirt, timeless. As I said before, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Up next we have Costa Rica, aka La Sele. And the inspiration of this shirt, according to Adidas, is eternal prestige, esteem, and honor that arouses the passion and emotions of fans through the patriotic colors, symbol of national identity. The base red of the shirt will represent the largest portion of the flag and the love for the team. The blue on the neck represents the sky of the nation, and finally the white framed in the fine detail of the line on the neck, and the 3 stripes exalts the beauty of the shirt. Now, personally, in my opinion, I think this is not one of the best home kits out there, but I'm sure to the people of Costa Rica, they do have a lot of national pride and identity with this shirt, and you really do see it when you compare it next to the national flag. And I think Adidas have done a good job of accentuating the national pride element, which is a running theme of this entire video. So for that, I will give this shirt a 5 out of 10. Next up in Group C, we have the Copper Queens of Zambia, who have come up with a very odd choice for a home kit. In my own opinion, this should either be a goalie kit or an away or a third team kit, which we will touch on in the next video. However, this is Zambia's home kit for the World Cup, and as the nickname alludes to, aka the Copper Queens, this shirt has a very striking copper color to it, and that's pretty much it. Not much effort has gone into the design process of this shirt in particular, because again, it's just copper and a black stripe going up on the side there, as you can see. So for that, I'm gonna have to give this kit, unfortunately, a 3 out of 10. Finally, in Group C, we have Japan, the Nadeshiko, who have the very famous and very well received blue shirt of theirs, which we obviously saw debuted at the World Cup recently in Qatar. And as you can see, there is a lot of inspiration of Japanese culture there with the origami 3-legged crow design, which is a very nice touch in my opinion. I personally would have loved to have gotten this kit, but I opted to get the away kit instead because the home kit was simply unavailable at the time, which is also a very beautiful shirt, but it's going to be outweighed by the away shirt, which we'll see in the next video. But overall, this is a very beautiful effort by Adidas. It is highly representative of Japan, and it's not so obvious when it comes to the whole national pride aesthetic that we have seen running throughout this video so far. So it's a nice good break from that theme, in my opinion. And for the anime / manga lovers amongst us, for the ones who are going to be watching this video like myself, there's gonna be a very nice little shout out that you see on screen right now, where to promote the shirt, Japan linked up with the creators of Blue Lock, the very famous football anime / manga that's currently running. And I think that's a nice little touch there. The shirt may not be inspired by Blue Lock, but that's a nice little Easter egg, for lack of better words. And I think that's a nice touch there when it comes to the promotional / marketing aspect of this shirt. So overall, I'm going to give this shirt a very strong 7.5 out of 10. Group D starts us off with a very strong piece here from Nike, who as always are sponsoring the 3 Lionesses, who have the very simple but timeless shirt of the pure white with blue detailing England shirt here, where there's a little fun piece of trivia behind the color of white used for this World Cup kit here, where Nike says that the off-white color schemes modeled after the brick exterior of the Wembley Stadium of 1923, in addition to it also being representative of the 1984 women's team, which was the very first women's team to compete at a major tournament for England. So as always, like I said with the Spain shirt, it's very hard to get this kind of a shirt wrong. We all know what the people want when it comes to an England shirt, and for Nike to do anything but this would have been nothing short of amazing, and not in a good way. But overall, it's an England shirt, so nothing new. So ultimately, we're going to give it a good 7 out of 10. Next, we have another debuting nation in Haiti, aka Les Piccolo. They have come out with a very beautiful design shirt, which is inspired by the Our Lady of the Assumption Cathedral in Leke, with a flag design on the inside cuff of the shirt, as well as the phrase L'union fait la force, aka unity is strength, printed on the inside of the shirt, and a very nice little Easter egg of diamond detailing, which you can see on the shirt itself, which spells out Haiti. I think this is a very strong effort here by Seriea, who are producing the kits for Haiti, and it's a very good shirt to come out first time for such a momentous occasion for the nation, who have their very first representatives at a World Cup, regardless of it being the men's team or the women's team. And this is a very beautiful shirt. Unfortunately, the design itself is copied and pasted in the away kit and the third kit. A little bit of a spoiler there, but that's a little bit of different flavor, I guess, for someone who might not like the color blue, for example. But other than that, this is a very beautiful shirt. Strong effort by Seriea. 8 out of 10 for this shirt. Next up is one of arguably the most ambitious shirts that are going to be on display at the World Cup here, and it's coming from Denmark, the red and whites, who have a pop art and comics inspired home shirt as well as an away shirt, which pictures their national players as superheroes. Now, this is a very creative and unique design from Hummel, who for once have not gone into the past to look for a shirt design to bring here to the modern era, so that's a plus in my books. But other than that, this is a very beautiful shirt. The inspiration behind it is very good. It's a very empowering shirt for the women who will be wearing it, and the message behind it is also empowering for the future generations of female footballers and for women not only in Denmark but even the world over. This is definitely one to get if you have the opportunity to get it. I love this shirt very much. 9 out of 10 for this one. And we finish off this group with the People's Republic of China, who are sponsored by Nike and have come out with the shirt, which is spotlighted by the traditional red and yellow with the Jiangyun symbol, traditional stylized cloud, which is the inspiration for the home kit and is symbolic of good luck and good fortune. Just like the Norway kit, it's good, it's very simple, but at the same time, a lot more could have been done by Nike. We have seen them do much more when it comes to the overall design of the shirt in the past, but ultimately I'm gonna have to give this one a 4 out of 10. It's not that inspiring. Hopefully the national team and the natives of China do find this shirt much better than I think. After all, just my opinion. Who cares about a random YouTuber's opinion in the end? But overall, I think more could have been done, but the symbol being present on the inside of the back of the collar is a very nice touch. So hopefully people find some sort of comfort or identity with that, but 4 out of 10 for me on this one. We now move on to Group E, which is home to the Stars and Stripes and the current reigning and defending Women's World Cup champions, the United States of America, whose home kit is inspired by the abstract expressionism that began in the 1940s in New York as art moved from Europe to the United States, much like women's football, with the kit being print-based for only the second time in 11 years. The drip paint technique pattern, which highlights the team's energy of being different but united, as outlined in Nike's release of this kit, I think that's a very bold statement by Nike in the sense that they've said football has moved from Europe to the US. I mean, it is a bold statement, but it's also backed up by the fact that the US hold the most women's World Cups, and the National Women's Soccer League is one of the strongest leagues in the world. So hopefully, as well, in addition to EA Sports predicting them to win, the USA can do the nation proud, as well as this little inspiration here that Nike has set out for the team proud as well. So here's to the 5th star for the United States of America. But overall, when it comes to personal opinion, this shirt gets a 6 out of 10 from me. For the historic buffs amongst you, next we have Vietnam, or the Golden Star Women Warriors, who have on first glance a very lazy looking kit, which is just red and just like gold detailings. But if you take a closer look, you will notice that there are subtle diamond outlines that intersect with the star of the intersectioning points of that diamond pattern, which is very symbolic of the national flag of Vietnam, which we all know is just a red base with a gold star in the middle. I think it's a very nice and ambitious effort there by the kit makers of Vietnam, aka Warrior, I think they're called. But overall, it's not bad, but at the same time, it's not the best. In my opinion, I will give it a 4 out of 10, but hopefully that doesn't do anything to negatively impact or affect Vietnam's efforts at the World Cup. As another debutante at the World Cup, I would also really like for them to, at the very least, get 2 wins. Even better if they qualify out of their group, although they do have a lot of strong competition, not only from the USA but from the following 2 teams that we'll get to now. The Netherlands are the next team in this group, and just like Spain and just like England, it is extremely thoroughly hard to get a Netherlands home kit wrong. And as we can see, thankfully, Nike did not get this wrong. It is the classic orange kit with 2 color contrasting of the home kit, being rooted in Dutch football culture, according to Nike. I think this is a very nice, very timeless shirt, and of course, it's very well put together, especially when you consider the color contrasting that Nike has done, because usually the difference in colors comes between the sleeves and the majority of the shirt, but in this case Nike has really thought outside the box to just modernize a classic element of the shirt being the orange color. Of course, in my opinion, it's a 7 out of 10. Hopefully the Netherlands do well in this shirt, especially given the very confusing omissions from the women's squad. But that's neither here nor there. That's something we'll touch on in another video down the line, but otherwise, very good shirt by Nike. And to round out the Nike group, we have Portugal, yet another debutante in the Women's World Cup. And their home kit, I have the same sentiments on it, just like I did with China and Norway. Very simple, to the point. You can obviously see the national pride involved there with the red base and the green stripes on the sides, but at the same time I feel like more could have been done. But I do feel at the same time it's a good departure by Nike from the usual diagonal half and half that we see in Portugal. So it's an alright kit, but at the same time not very inspiring in my opinion. So for me, it's gonna have to be a 4 out of 10 for this kit. Moving on to Group E, we have Les Bleus, aka France, to kick off this group, and it's another strong departure from the stereotypical France kit, which usually has dark blue as the base color and all that. Here we can see it's light blue and lilac hues that are dominating this kit here, as Nike's inspiration comes from the Orphism art movement of the 1920s, especially with regards to resembling the kits of the 1920s French women's teams as well. I think this is a very bold effort. When I first saw it, I thought it was maybe like an old lady's jacket, but when I saw the inspiration and actually zoomed in and saw the detailing in the shirts itself, I thought it was a very well done effort by Nike, especially when you notice on the cuffs there, you've got the national flag done in a very rough but artistic way as well, which is a nice little detail in my opinion. So overall, it's a very good shirt by Nike. It gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Next up in this group, we have the Reggae Girls of Jamaica, whose kit has a very suspicious yet very similar design to a certain team in England, but I just can't put my finger on it. I'm not too sure. Anyway, this kit is very nice here. I love the detailings. Of course, it is in line with the national flag of Jamaica. I love how the colors are well put together, especially by the collars and the cuffs with the detailing there of the national flag of Jamaica. And according to Adidas, the colors take after the national flag, like I've said, with the fine pinstripe detailing the subtle groove of Jamaican music and style, which I think is a very good inspiration for those pinstripes by Adidas. Of course, this is part of the Wales Bonner collaboration, and of course this is the first Jamaican national team jersey made by Adidas, so very good effort, 5 out of 10 for me. The penultimate team we have here in Group F is the famous yellow and green of Brazil, and again, very timeless, very classic shirt here of the Brazilian team here. Just yellow with subtle undertones of the Amazon ecosystem being the inspiration behind the kit textures that you can see there if you just zoom in, but otherwise very good shirt. Again, hard to mess up like with Spain and whatever, as I'm sure it's becoming repetitive now, but good effort here by Nike, 7 out of 10. And finally, rounding out the group, we have Panama, or as they're also known as Las Canaleras, who are also making their debut at the World Cup. And we can see here that the design takes on a total hexagonal print, which mimics a classic football that you'd have back in the days. I'm sure kids these days will know what that looks like, but anyway, it's a very classic design, and it is Reebok's first effort when they have come back as a kit manufacturer. Obviously, the inspiration of the colors comes from the national flag, and overall I give this a 2.5 out of 10. Not much inspiration in my opinion when it comes to this shirt, but it's better than nothing. But I think this is the weakest effort thus far when it comes to the home team kits. And kicking us off in Group G, our penultimate group for this video, we have Sweden with another classical shirt inspired by the 1994 kit of the men's team. It's just your standard yellow kit with blue and black detailings. Again, very hard to get wrong. Very nice shirt in my opinion, 6 out of 10 for this one. Next up, we have Banyana aka South Africa. We have a very nice home shirt here by Liberate, which is inspired by the national flag, as you can see in the art design pattern here, which is pop art, again, just like with the Denmark shirt. And I think it's a very nice shirt made by Liberate Sportief and is very, very inspirational and proud for the South African team to wear, as well as its home supporters. Another good shirt here. I think this one gets a very good 6.5 out of 10. Next, we have Adidas's initial effort with Italy here, which is just pretty much the men's kits that we've already seen, but this time for the women's kits. Adidas have not released any new away kit like we will see in the next video with some of its other teams, but I think this is a very nice and simple kit. It is inspired by marble, which is naturally found in Italy, and you can see the nice little tricolor details of the Italian flag there by the ribbing of the shirt, as well as by the cuffs. And there's also Italia on the back of the neck, which is also done in a Roman inspired engraving, which is a very nice touch by Adidas as well. Overall, very good shirt, 6 out of 10 for me there. And finally, we have the Albi Celeste of Argentina, who again have the men's home shirt pretty much for the World Cup here for the women. It's another classic design, you can't mess it up. You just need to have blue stripes that are going up vertically, and pretty much that's the Argentina kit. It's a very nice kit in my opinion. Nice little twist at the back with the 2 small stripes making up the central one at the back, and I think it's going to be a lot of pressure for the Argentina women to try and replicate what the men did. That's just me being speculative, but I don't think it will actually come to pass. But this will to be a very nice shirt for the Argentinian women to wear, and hopefully the pride and the energy of the nation that came from the men winning can help give the women a very good and strong showing at the tournament coming up in Australia and New Zealand. And in our final group, Group H, we kick off with Germany, who have this very beautiful and simple design for their home kit this year, which is inspired by the first ever German national team shirt, which is pretty much a white shirt with a black solid line going down the middle, and of course the national team logo in the center. This is a beautiful kit. I personally own this one, at least the fan version of it. I think Adidas did a miss with this one. This is something that they will have a very hard time replicating and even improving upon when it comes to future iterations of the national team home shirt for Germany, but a very, very lovely kit overall in my opinion. 8.5 out of 10 for this one. Puma's initially good streak comes to an end here with the Atlas Lionesses home shirt. Morocco, another debutant for the upcoming World Cup here, have had their new kit recently released this past week, and there's not much details as to what the inspiration is, but as you can see by the stripes, it looks like the claw marks of a lioness. So maybe that's an allusion to not only the team names, but the hopes that Morocco will attack the World Cup with a lot of vigor. Personally, I think Morocco can go as far as the quarterfinals, but they can surprise many people. But other than that, it's not a very inspiring shirt. It looks like something coming out of like a very poorly made video game in my opinion. Something like eFootball nowadays. So for me, it's a 3 out of 10. Unfortunately, Puma, you could have done a very, very better job than what is currently here on show. But otherwise, that is the Morocco shirt. Up next, we have the home jersey for Las Chicas Superpoderosas, aka Colombia. Please do look up the translation for that nickname. It will make your day, I promise you. And it is a very simple yet elegant design in my opinion. It's just basically the national colors of Colombia on a football jersey. I think this is one of the better looking national pride associated jerseys made, especially by Adidas. Very clean, crisp, simple, timeless, to the point. 7 out of 10 for me. And finally, we have the South Korea home kit, which is inspired by the vibrant new pink, which juxtaposes Korea's traditional colors with funky blocking on the side panels, creating a distinctive look reflecting the country and team's youthful spirit. Now, I think Nike have done a good job of capturing that vibrancy and the youthful aspect that they were going for. However, this kit doesn't scream national pride, which I think is a good thing and a nice little break from the national pride aesthetic that we've dealt with yet again, and I'm repeating my words there, but it's true. However, this doesn't really scream South Korea in my opinion the same way the away kit does, so it's gonna be very hard for some first time viewers or people who don't know the difference between the home kit and the away kit for South Korea to distinguish which one is which, because the home kit ironically looks like the away kit and the away kit looks like the home kit. But we will see those differences in next week's video, or if you're not eager enough to wait, you can just Google it and see the differences for yourself. But other than that, that's where we will end today. Anyways guys, please let me know which kit do you love the most out of this home collection. Personally, I don't have any favorites. Yes, I may own some of them, but it's very hard to pick out a favorite from so many strong options here. I think that if it was possible for me, I would just pretty much buy all of them here, as well as the away kits and some of the third ones as well, but I'm just a broke former Bachelor of University student, so yeah, maybe one day. But other than that, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to share your opinions on which kits you think are the best, which ones are the worst, and also why not just also give me your opinions on which team do you think will go the farthest in the World Cup and which team you're also personally rooting for. But other than that, I will see you in the next video where we'll be highlighting the away kits and some of the third kits as well.